I knew him before he was Diddy. I knew him for a long time. When I first became champ, I knew him. I remember him. He used to have crates when he used to have my after parties and stuff. Also when they were throwing parties.
So I'm performing, and I'm just really excited. I'm trying to give it my all, and I bust my ass in front of like 20,000. I'm talking about like when you fall flat on your back. But I tried to play it off. You know how when you fall and you act like there ain't nobody seeing, you just keep on rocking. But it was like I just felt I was embarrassed for like weeks.
It truly is about the Benjamin, as we see.
Oh yes, he's glittering.
Get ready, everyone. Today we're going to unpack how this talk grabs attention right away by blending old fame ties with a personal memory that feels honest and raw. The guest claims he knew people well before they got famous, which instantly builds trust, then moves into a show moment where things fall apart on stage. That stumble and shame becomes the emotional center, proving that even growing success comes with public embarrassment and effects that stick around.
At least see any parties or been to his parties, the infamous Diddy parties that everybody talks about?
I've been to the parties, but like I said, I don't know. They select you. You're selected.
Be more descriptive.
I'm gonna be more selective. You have to fit a certain description. You have to fit a certain mannerism for you to be led down that hallway with the door.
And y'all know what college I'm talking about. I took a few girls to his party. You understand? So, the same woman that I worked for, she had to take, two girls had to go to Mike Tyson on 57th Street. Mike Tyson had a condominium down, I think it was 57th Street. And, I took the two girls down there. This is long.
He respected me as a lyricist and as a writer. And that's what kept me up there from 2002 to
In this part, the talk moves toward exclusive parties and how getting in is never simple. It's tightly managed. The guest says entry isn't random. It depends on looks, conduct, and even attitude. What seems like a glamorous celebrity scene quickly turns into something more planned and guarded. The notion that people get handpicked creates tension, hinting at a hidden order behind elite gatherings that most outsiders never notice or grasp.
But did you at least see any parties or been to his parties, the infamous Diddy parties that everybody talks about?
I've been to the parties, but like I said, I don't know. They select you. You're selected.
Be more descriptive.
I'm gonna be more selective. You have to fit a certain description. You have to fit a certain mannerism for you to be led down that hallway with the door.
Hold on.
Yo,
don't do that.
I'm giving it to you real. You have to fit a certain description, a certain mannerism, a body type, a type of mannerism, a type of mentality for you to get led down that hallway with the door.
Somebody said a pretty looking boy.
Wait a minute. Time out. What I want to ask you at that time, like why? Why am I being excluded from this? That didn't like raise your antennas of that?
Me being young, and at that time, I just wanted to be famous, and I wanted to be a superstar off of rap music.
Yeah, but something you didn't want to be in no parties? Hold on. Something's behind that closed door, right?
Bro, but it wasn't.
Here the talk grows into older industry ties, linking big names and early experiences that shaped the guest's entry into high-profile circles. Mentioning visits to Mike Tyson's home adds weight to the tale, showing just how connected these networks were. It paints a picture of an era when famous worlds crossed paths in strange ways, and access to power came through personal bonds rather than public attention or today's media exposure.
It's not.
Yeah, but you want to know.
You can go on the internet
But he's probably not looking at it.
It's not out like it is now. It was still taboo. Nobody was speaking on it.
Yeah.
You couldn't speak on it. You didn't have a network of people that could huddle up and talk about it. Yeah, that network of people outweighed yours by far. You would get pushed into a little corner talking about who's this and who's that.
Yeah.
You would run into a brick wall because it would be those on the other side.
I know what you're saying.
Let me keep it a bean with you. The way they attack you is through photo shoots and video shoots. They send in the stylists. If you're getting your hair braided, one of those two guys might be not the way you think they should be. And if you're showing them the most love and yippity-yappity with them, that's the battlefield. That's where they see, oh, he had a lot of rap for the guy over here.
Right.
He's one of them.
All right.
That's
what I'm talking about.
That's
what I'm saying. They can see who it is.
I wear my pants off my ass. I wear jerseys. I smoke weed all day. I'm bringing the house, Nessa's not the candidate.
That's right. That's
You
right.
wasn't that image.
This part heats up as the guest hints at what goes on behind closed doors in entertainment spaces, suggesting hidden rules, behaviors, and filtering systems exist. The chat turns more serious, implying people get judged based on looks, attitude, and fitting certain expectations. It builds a sense of unease, as success there depends on more than skill alone, and instead involves working through hidden social setups and unspoken screening.
Nessa's not the candidate for the board.
You wasn't like that.
Nah,
So let
I'm
me
not the
ask you
candidate.
this. Hold on, let me ask you
Yeah.
this. Who out the group of that, who y'all was kind of,
I don't know.
Tell me about the time that you took 2 girls to 57th Street for Mike Tyson.
You want to know that story? Back in the day, I used to work for the Harlem Madam. The Harlem Madam was this young lady who would go to clubs, and girls who was looking to make extra money for being escorts, she would hire them to do work for them. You know what I mean? So, this one particular time, I had actually, when KG from Naughty by Nature brother had came home from college, and y'all know what college I'm talking about, I took a few girls to his party. You understand? So, the same woman that I worked for, she had to take, 2 girls had to go to Mike Tyson on 57th Street. Mike Tyson had a condominium down, I think it was 57th Street. And, I took the 2 girls down there. This was a long time. This was in the 90s, the mid 90s.
The story deepens into a detailed background covering escort setups, club ties, and organized movement of people in elite settings. The guest describes working alongside people who handled social introductions professionally, showing how structured and businesslike that world could be. Bringing up Mike Tyson's name adds weight, framing the era as one where celebrity nightlife and underground systems often crossed paths in tangled and controversial ways.
Was the man. So I wanted them to, I had this Tyson shirt in my truck, and I wanted them to sign it, but I was like, yo, that shouldn't be professional or nothing like that. But I was a fan of Mike Tyson. I had a situation in a club before when he was trying to talk to a girl named April, and April was my friend, and I was with her. So then, I knew of Mike Tyson, but this is way before Zip had got involved with him. So I'm sitting there, and I take the 2 girls down there. So they go upstairs and everything. I wanted so bad to tell them, yo, give me his autograph. Give me Tyson's autograph. You understand? Because like I told you, this one Tyson was the man. Everybody, he represented New York to the fullest. So they go upstairs. So it was about 15, 20 minutes later. The one girl came back downstairs. And I said, what happened? She was like, nothing. I said, yo, I thought he wanted 2 girls. I said, I knew he couldn't handle 2 girls. But why he wanted 2 girls? He had other people up there. She said, no, it was just him. And I was like, yeah? I said, what happened? She said, he gave each one of us $1,500. And he said, yo, Gene, he just tore into that girl like crazy, like an animal. I was like, yeah? He said, yo. And I know this is a family program, and I know some children may be watching. He said, I wasn't going to let him do my he was doing. So I told him I wasn't feeling good, and I gave him his money back, and I was leaving. He said, nah, just keep $1,000 and thank you. You understand? He gave the other $500 to the girl. And so we stayed in the car waiting for the girl to come back down. She came down after an hour and a half was up. I was like, oh, that shit was crazy.
This section brings the most stunning storytelling moment, describing a private meeting that turns unexpectedly intense, involving money changing hands. The guest recalls waiting outside while others went upstairs, then hearing a troubling account afterward, shifting the mood into unease and disbelief. The tale shows how fast things can spiral behind closed doors, leaving outsiders uncertain about what really happened and underlining the puzzling, unchecked nature of elite private settings.
The documentary, man. So this documentary drops and Roger Bonds is in it. And one of the things that kind of stuck out to me was Roger said that Diddy felt like money can get him out of anything. What's your thoughts on that?
Ain't that more than half the millionaires in this world? Ain't that more than half the people who got it? Yo, listen to me, bro. You save your money will save you. And this guy just thought that he could do certain things to either buy his way out of that if he had to. And he has done that on numerous of times, buying his way out of some things. But then again, when his people need money who are around him and work for him, he ain't got it for him. So, it's funny.
I mean, you could even say he kind of did it this time. I mean, I looked it up and they say he spent $10 to $15 million on lawyers.
Now attention turns sharply to a documentary talk where claims about power, money, and influence take center stage. The guest argues that wealth builds a feeling of untouchability, letting some people believe they can dodge consequences. Legal spending and top-tier representation come up as protective tools. This part builds a story around money shaping results, raising questions about fairness, accountability, and how influence works within legal and public systems.
And he got the main charges, the RICOs and all that other wild stuff, not guilty, man. So, I mean, he kind of did again.
Bro, that made up before he even went to trial, man. Come on, bro. And I've said this 1,000 times to probably 1,001 people. Your main two charges that you talk about in court, you don't even charge him with? Come on, Cam. The gun charge.
Right.
They
found the guns at his house when they had a proper warrant, and he never got charged. That's weird as a...
Right. The drug charges.
The talk shifts toward legal claims and procedural gaps, covering serious charges and statements that some expected outcomes never actually showed up in court. The guest questions how evidence, arrests, and legal framing line up, hinting that deals or choices might happen behind the scenes. It creates a doubtful tone about how justice systems treat high-profile cases, especially when wealth and influence linger in the background.
Those baby oils had stuff in it. It even came out in the documentary, and one doctor them said what had him. Nobody carries that many and wrapped up in certain things. Come on, bro. If you was using baby oil, you ain't got to carry it with you. Yo, run to Walgreens, give me 10 cases of baby oil. Get all the baby oil at Walgreens. That baby oil had some kind of chemical in it that helped you seduce the person and make them feel free or something like that. It was they were saying it was some kind of drug that was in that baby oil. Not only that, he didn't get charged with the physical drugs that they could see, the pink cocaine, all this other shit. So with the feds and me working around them and working with them, and what I mean working with them, me being a parole officer, you know what I'm saying, dealing in federal cases and stuff like that, they didn't charge him because, one, brother, I swear, it was a deal made way before they got to court. Because that's in New York City, I was going to give you 10 years. You get 5 to 10 years automatically. If you beat it in feds.
Talking about for some time now. Alex, let me begin with you. The docuseries is entitled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. How is this one different from the others that have been out there?
Well, I think that the biggest marker of what makes this film or this series different is how much time we took into putting into the making of the film, doing our due diligence to get the right voices, to the table, and this is a series that spans over 30 years. So just by covering that much time, it took a lot of time for us to dig in and to kind of make sense of this story and to put this timeline together.
Yeah, and there's like some never before seen footage that I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment. But Curtis, people know about this very.
This part digs into the documentary's making, showing how years of footage and many viewpoints were collected to build a long-running story. The makers stress careful research, unseen clips, and the struggle of turning decades of events into one clear narrative. Focus shifts to how media framing functions and how chosen footage can shape public views. It builds curiosity about what made it in versus what got cut from the final version.
Feud that you've had with Sean Combs. So what brought you to this project?
Well, I just want to make really hit television. I like the idea of it being exciting, and I picked this project and started working on it about 5 months before I found Alex. And I know that she has the artistic integrity that it would take to make it a great project, and there's the Quincy Jones era of production is find me that bass player because he's the baddest man out there in Chicago, and find me that keyboardist and fly them in from Miami, and we put them in and have the greatest jam session they ever heard, and it just always resulted in great and hit music. And I take that concept into television production.
You take that into everything you do, sir.
That's right.
You really do. And it really comes through, and appreciate that about you. As I said, never before seen footage of the days leading up to his arrest. Can you just talk a little bit about, was there anything that surprised you from that footage?
The footage, well, I mean, I think it's rare to find someone who's being, talked about all over the country. All eyes were on him, so to speak. And it was really interesting to see his last days of freedom, and what was sort of important to him. Obviously, there's phone calls with his attorneys, with his team. It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. He has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public, in the days leading up to his arrest and indictment. So that was interesting. It was also just interesting to see how laid back he was at times. But, the footage also, in the footage, we also see how he's getting incoming, lawsuits are dropping, and to get his real-time perspective on that was sort of jaw-dropping when we first got our eyes on the footage.
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching the footage?
No, that didn't surprise me at all.
Because you've known him?
Yeah. Those behaviors. And I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
Yeah, and I want to ask about that, because how did you go about getting the footage? And do you know the intent of the videographer, why he or this person took the footage?
She's a journalist, right?
Yeah.
So she's not going to reveal her sources, so you don't have to reveal that.
Not going to reveal my sources, but I think that partnering with someone like 50, it was very much in the universe as to what we were doing.
On his way here, I didn't see this, but apparently there's another 100 hours of Diddy footage on the cutting room floor.
So Diddy is still doing press. I mean, Diddy. 50.
Diddy is not doing press.
No, he's
doing press on the yard.
He's doing press, like he's doing push-ups. No, 50 is still doing press, and obviously with the success of the Reckoning documentary, he's talking about there's more footage. There's 140 hours that he has, and each episode was only maybe an hour, I think. Mm-hmm. There was 4 episodes, so there's at least 130 something more hours that he hasn't edited or produced. And he's saying that he may put it out on YouTube, just to put it out there,
like on his 50 Cent Devo page.
I don't know if it'll be on his page, but he just said, he doesn't know if he's going to release it with Netflix or through Netflix. He might just, put it out on YouTube or wherever, some other platform. But the one thing that he said that was interesting is, he said, because you see people out here trying to, say, oh, the documentary can paint a narrative, this, that, and the third. And his words were, if you see the rest of this footage, there will be no more, kind of like, oh, you can paint this narrative. It's pretty clear cut. The things that are being said in the documentary, the things that he still can't believe Puff, because he says that a lot. Like, he can't believe Puff actually recorded all of this.
Yeah. But I mean, so why does 50 not put that, if it's that damning and that crazy, why not put it in the doc?
I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't put it in the doc. Maybe, the stories, maybe he had more people that he would need to interview and have sit down for the documentary to kind of go through those stories that are in there. It could be a number of reasons, but the fact that he has over 100 hours of footage of, personal footage and things like that leading up to the case, because the story is Puff felt like he was going to win the case.
Yeah.
And that this was going to be footage for his documentary that he would have released.
The redemption.
After the trial was done and things like that. So, the amount of things that he probably was recording, just going off of the fact that he felt like they were going to win the case.
Yeah. This is my footage and these guys aren't going to put it out.
Yeah.
Like, all the crazy we're going to take out.
Right.
But I mean, even I did see who I think was the director of what Diddy was trying to do had mentioned that he was on vacation or was out of town and had someone fill in for him. And that's the only footage that made it to the doc because that guy sold it. So maybe that director didn't pay the person to fill in, so he owned the footage and was able to give it away. But maybe all this other footage, 50 doesn't have permission to put out. Like,
okay,
he could have it, but the director's like, no, this is my footage. Like, you got the other shit. I had my man's fill in for me for 3 days, and he has that footage now.
Right.
So maybe that could be it. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like 50 is so petty that if it was that crazy, he would have just put the shit in the doc. But who knows? I don't even want to speculate what is on the 100 hours.
Yeah.
After Lil Rod telling me what was going on, I don't know if I want to see it visually.
I mean, and for 50 to say the footage that's on there is it leaves no more room for, people to kind of say, oh, the narratives are being created, it's false. For 50 to say that, I mean, we can only imagine the footage that he's seen and that he has. So we'll have to see if any of that ever sees the light of day. I'm sure that, Diddy's team is going to do everything.
Afraid. What do you know about? Because some people are talking about there's Diddy involvement with Jamie and something happened because he was calling him out for some of the parties he was putting up. Is there anything you have opinions on Diddy? Have you had any experiences with Diddy?
No, just I knew him for a long time.
Got it. And with you, he was chill. He was good. He was
Awesome guy.
Yeah.
I knew him before he was Diddy. I knew him for a long time. When I first became champ, I knew him. I remember him. He used to have crates when he used to have my after parties and stuff. Also when they were throwing parties. I remember
This is when he was the CEO founder of Bad Boy.
No, I don't think he was Bad Boy yet. No, he wasn't him. Damon Dash and all those guys. They weren't on yet. I was like the first street guy that really got on. I'm talking about the guy doing crime in the streets that became a television guy, and everyone knew he was a celebrity, had fancy cars. I was the first.
This is all in Brooklyn.
I'm the first of our generation of that crew. The street hustlers that really blew up like that.
And you guys all knew each other.
Yeah,
it's the same era.
Listen, this young lady that works for my company, and she started saying names to people I remember when I was 11, 12 years old. And it baffles me that you think you got away from these people. You'll never see them again. You knew them when you were at the worst of your level or heard about them. And you're not the only one God had his hand on. These guys made them successful too. And just to know them and see them at this level of the game is just mind-boggling. I mean, it's really, you're almost like proud in a way when you see them, what they experienced in life. And now they became.
In the closing stretch, the talk focuses on unreleased footage, editing choices, and the idea that far more material exists than what viewers actually see. The conversation looks at how stories can change depending on what gets shown or held back, especially in high-profile documentaries. The speakers think about industry ties, legacy, and how public figures get remembered differently over time. If you liked this breakdown, be sure to like the video, subscribe to FameX, and we'll catch you in the next one.